I think a good team win. First and foremost, good to be back in the glass. We'll honor our seniors today. A lot of those guys have been here through the duration of all 4 years, some 5. Really happy to get them a win. We got lots of guys involved in the game today. Some key players played really, really good. I see Sherm is here with me, and he's in the backfield the entire day. We got pressure on the quarterback. We got in the backfield to create disruptions that way and made havoc plays. I credited our kickoff guy down in the locker room down there. The ball's flying out of the back of the end zone every time, and that's a big lift to our defense to start there. And you could probably just go down the list, right? I mean, we got a couple really good key moments where good players, young players, got a chance to be seen. We got a 2-minute drill with our backup quarterback right before this, the end of the half. And then we got Caleb in there and let him play in the second half. And, I thought he did some really good things. So a multitude of running backs and receivers participated. Just a good team win.
What did you think of the execution, just all 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams?
I mean, kind of one of those deals where it kind of fed off one another again, similar to last week. Maybe a little bit more choppy at the start, but I thought, you'd like to score a touchdown on the first drive rather than kicking a field goal. But anytime you can get points, obviously you're satisfied. You're not happy, but you're satisfied. But playing off of one another, field position, we returned some punts into plus territory, and that Bryson did a really good job there. Schematically we did a good job. I thought schematically and effort-wise we were much better in the kicking game today than maybe we were last week. And I won't know what the hidden yardage looks like, but I imagine we'd come out on top in that one for sure.
How hard, regardless of the opponent, how hard is it to perform at the level you guys did today for essentially all 60 minutes?
Well, I think that, and I wasn't kidding when I said on Monday that these guys played Ohio better than we did last year. So, if anybody that didn't have any focus throughout the week, you're not paying any attention. So, that's a capable team. Are they outmanned overall? They are. But you got to go play, and you got to go execute. So that's part of it. And, where games like this get choppy and, you give another team life, it's because your lack of discipline and lack of execution. And I don't think I saw that on the tape tonight.
The defense was highly touted coming into the season because of all the experience and number of snaps that a majority of the starters had. How did that show itself tonight?
Yeah, I think what's a product of that? A product of that is great communication, and if you can communicate at a high level, the explosive plays don't come out. I'm sure we weren't perfect. I'm sure we missed some gaps. I'm sure we misfit some things. But, can you make havoc plays to make up for some of those things? And then when it gets to third down, can you get off the field? And they were 0-12 on third down. So good communication, good effort there for sure. I don't think I credit our defensive coaches too. These guys got to go execute and play, but they got to put a plan together that takes the strengths of the other team away. And that's, really of 12 quarters of football here, that's 10 or 11 quarters where that's been the case. So, we got a strong unit over there led by a strong secondary. We got some new front 7 players that haven't many starts, but they're going to continue to get better and better and better.
Did anything surprise you at all tonight?
Not really. I think that I asked the young players if they got their opportunity and we got into a one-sided game, that I want to see you elevate yourself and I want to see your play elevate and see if you can help us moving down the road. And we've been, fairly healthy here the last couple of weeks when it comes to, good players. But at some point in time, we're going to lose somebody. And we're only going to be as good as what we have behind them. So this was the second half of last week, and then really 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters of this game here, you really got a chance to see some young players and view what they could do. And they're going to have a good day on Sunday to be able to look at the tape and, tell themselves the truth and fix the mistakes.
Probably
good. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask one thing. Probably we'll address this more on Monday, but to go into your first conference game next week, tough opponent on the road, to have the 8 quarters you have going into that game, how important do you think that is?
I don't think they mean anything, to be honest with you. You go on the road and it's the hardest thing to do is win road conference football games. And you start to look at I bet you when I go to my office and check my phone, somebody got beat today in a road conference game. Just what it is. And maybe they were expected to win. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. It's just hard to do. You got to take a bus trip. You got the logistics of the trips are all over the map. You don't stay right next to campus. You don't stay in your own bed. You're all over the place. So you got to have a good week. And these things just repeat. So as fast as, I walk out of here, we got to address the mistakes and then flush this one and turn the page to a good team.
Are you not a big believer in momentum carrying over from game to game?
I mean, I, I think there's momentum in sport, but what if you don't go start well? What if you don't play well to start? And where's the momentum for last week? Does that mean anything? I don't think it does. You're only as good as what you are on that Saturday. There's going to be plenty of examples today where some team went into some place that had plenty of momentum, okay, in the last 2 weeks, and they got beat today. That's just college football. You don't bring it each and every week. You got the clown face on.
You've played pretty well these first 3 games. What's the transition to Toledo been like for you?
It's been pretty good. Just the coaching to the bond that we share in the locker room. I mean, just everyone trusting each other, and I feel like that's been a big reason of why I'm playing so good. Just to be able to lean on my teammates and know that they're pushing me back.
The passing game's been pretty good these last few games. Obviously, you're going on from Chip, who's had success as well. What do you think of you guys kind of as a tandem?
I mean, I feel like we both bring different stuff to the table, but it's like complementary. He do a lot of stuff good that I probably don't do, and I probably do the stuff that he could do. So stuff like that.
What is it about this scheme that brings out the best in you every week?
I feel like our coaches just put us in the best position to go play good every week. We just got to execute. So that's probably the only thing. I just go out there and be me, do my job.
And I know it's only week 4, but how comfortable do you feel in this offense early on?
I feel very comfortable in the offense just because, like, just the guys that I'm around, I feel like if we all just do our job, we could be unstoppable. So that brings my confidence up, just knowing that we could go out there and execute whenever we want, every play.
I don't know, 4 tackles for loss today. What's it like out there when you're just like constantly getting into the backfield, making those like havoc plays?
I mean, honestly, I think it's just trusting what my coaches tell me to do and just doing that. I feel like the more I trust them, the more plays I'm going to be able to make out there.
What do you mean? The defense has been pretty dominant. Even losing to Kentucky, you guys had a great game. What is it that kind of makes the whole defense kind of the one unit so I don't know, able to keep a lack of production for the opponents?
I mean, I think it's just we got a bunch of guys that's fiending to get better. Even like last week, we had a good little win, but it was still a lot of stuff that we corrected, that we needed to correct, and we got it fixed. So I just say, like, taking your mistakes off tape is really what helps us be a good defense.
What was the biggest thing that stood out for you guys today on defense?
Honestly, stopping the run. That's our main goal going into every game. We're going to stop the run, and then if you want to drop back and pass, we're trying to shut that down too. But stopping the run really stood out to me today because that's something that we needed to do.
How motivated were you coming into the season to be kind of one of those big impact players on the defense?
I'm very motivated, and it's not just because I knew it was my time to step up. The previous linebackers that have been here, Deontay Johnson, Dallas Gant, and it's just you don't want to have bad linebacker play at Toledo. I feel like it's just disrespectful, so that was my motivation.
Do you feel any pressure because of that, or any burden to fulfill that legacy?
No, sir, not really, because I know if I just do things the right way and stay with my process, the rest will take care of itself.
You mentioned those 2 guys. Did they help you at all?
Honestly, I wasn't here when they was here, but every day somebody's talking about what they did to become who they are, to become the player that they became. So that's really where I get all the motivation from, because it's like I'm always hearing stories about how them guys worked.
Is there any story that stands out or any piece of advice that really sticks with you?
Dallas Gant's story, actually, because, he was at Ohio State before he came to Toledo, and he really didn't play, but when he came to Toledo, we put him on the field, and he's one of the best. So that story really stuck out to me because I was pretty much in the same position last year. I didn't play a lot, but I had a small role, and then, look at me now. They're asking me to go start, so.
How rewarding is it then to have the performance you did tonight?
Honestly, it's not really rewarding for real. When I'm on the field, I think my coaches expect me to go out there and dominate and be the best player I can be. So, it's honestly really no reward. You just got to do your job.